So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this second episode of the Biztech Show. I hope you are doing well and keeping safe. So, today we have a very special guest with us. He is a IIM Bangalore alumni. He has had key leadership roles in his previous professional avatars, and now he is Vice President Growth and Analytics at the Man Company. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Hemant Kumar. Hemant, welcome to the show.
Hey Jayesh, thank you for the wonderful introduction. Very excited to be part of the show, and would love to
Okay, so privileged to host you, Hemant. I'm sure we'll have a great session together. So let's quickly jump on to the topic on why we are having this webinar today. And the topic is, how can small and medium businesses accelerate their growth in the e-commerce space, right? So I'll add some perspective here. So e-commerce is an industry which saw a lot of prominence in India in the last 1.5 decade, right? And it has grown tremendously. But if we see in the last 18 to 24 months, it has grown twice as it was supposed to before the pandemic era, right? But if we further deep down into the numbers of how the market has shaped up, we'll see that the only biggest of the brands have been able to take up the majority share of the overall market. So here is my question for you. How should small and medium sized businesses align their strategies? How should they work to get a better share of this market? How should they invest more in omni-channel engagement? Should they invest in hyper personalization? What should be the way forward for small and medium businesses in the e-commerce space?
Sure, Jayesh. Yeah, pretty valid point, I must say. Yes, pandemic has really accelerated the overall adoption of e-commerce as a behavior, and yes, primary winner would have been the large company. But let me tell you, in the last 20 months, 24 months of being in pandemic, India has witnessed a tremendous growth in a lot of small and medium-sized players also coming up and scaling up to a level where they are they are actually profitable or in that stage of growing. So let me just share some stats to put things in perspective of how e-commerce has evolved over a period of time. Can you guys see the screen? I'll just minimize this taskbar.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. You can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Josh, if you look at how e-commerce has grown in the last few years, the chart shows a growth of last a decade. It has grown tremendous in the last, if you see the graphs, in the last 24 months is where you see the largest growth. Overall, in this entire year of 2021 alone, the funding for startup have grown by 600%. This can tell you the scale, the kind of companies that have come up in the last 12 months. And if you look at the graph on the right hand side, talks about how is e-commerce as a category or as a behavior is growing, has grown in the last decade. And by 2026, 11% of your total Indian retail market would be e-commerce. And that's a huge number. If you look at the number in 2011, this number was less than 1%. And we're talking about a number which is going to be like almost 12% of your share. So this is a pretty interesting growth story of e-commerce. And I'll tell you what are the largest contributors here, then we can probably touch upon the trends and specific questions which you'd ask. So biggest contributor for this is the D2C, the rise of D2C. Now, when you look at traditional e-commerce, where people would book ticket online or do some shopping online, it was the last decade was, I think, prominently dominated by marketplaces. Here, the consumer has become demanding. The brands have to then, up their game. They have come and they want to have a direct connect to the customer. That's the whole hypothesis of D2C. Now, what D2C has, of course, D2C was there few years back as well. If I talk about last 4-5 years, it was there, but pandemic really accelerated the adoption of D2C. Today, D2C is not just a choice that a brand would have; it's a win or lose game. If you want to connect to the customers, you got to be present online as a brand. Even traditional large consumer companies have started getting into D2C, and they're really scaling up, and even these small and medium sized D2C are giving them tough competition to sort of answer your question. So this whole wave of D2C has led to that exponential growth in e-commerce that we saw in the previous slide, and it's only going to grow from here multifold. So see, when you are a D2C brand, like it says direct to customer, that means you are, as a brand, expected to know a lot about the customer. Same way, on the reverse side, customer expects you to know him or her. This is where the whole concept of personalization comes into the picture. We are at a stage where consumer is pretty smart, and consumer wants the brand to know them well and treat them as individual. I mean, gone are the days where it used to be just one cohort of active customer, inactive customers, or a lapsed customer. Here we are talking about customers who's an individual. So the graph that you see, or the slide that you see, essentially talks about we are at a stage when if you're a direct to customer brand, you need to capture more than just demographic, more than just purchase data. And this is where role of technology and a customer data platform comes into the picture. As a customer, I want to interact with the brand. I want to have a personalized experience, and that's only possible when brands are in a position to capture and know more about me. So this is one big trend which you will see in the coming months this year, that a lot of D2C brand will start capturing more and more information about customer to sort of profile them as as fine as possible. And again, you can't have generic segmentation. It has to be very, very sharp, because that's what the customer expectations are. The other big trend which we see in the coming month, of course, it has been here for quite some time. A lot of D2C brands and e-commerce people have been working on this. Some of them have really implemented this, but it's an ever evolving space, because every day some new channels are added, some new customer touch points are added. But again, here the customer is in the front seat. Customer wants to have a very contextual and a personalized experience with the brand. So as a brand, the onus is that you're talking to the right customer at the right time with the right sort of content. One size does not fit all. And as a customer, I could be active on multiple channels at the same time, or I could be active on a preferred channel. So for instance, app could be my preferred channel, or for marketing communication, Instagram could be my preferred channel. For shopping, mobile could be my preferred channel. So it's an orchestration of multiple channels. So brands would need to identify customer at that level. That's one big trend which is definitely going to shape the future of e-commerce. And content is going to play a big role, because the content has to be very, very tailor-made and for a particular customer. So that brings me to the third trend on where the entire e-commerce, especially the D2C space, is headed to, which comes from a very, very research proven insight that consumers would trust the influencer and the content creator more than what they trust the brand. As a brand, you could be talking 10 good things about a product, but when they hear it from the influencer or the content creator or the celebrity that they follow, the credibility is higher, the sort of intent, the propensity to purchase that is higher. And especially in a personal care, beauty, food and beverage, and the categories where they really want to see the product, feel the product, that's where influencer marketing and the content marketing comes into the play. Again, it was a trend which was there about 2 years back also, but if you just see the trajectory, how it has gone up in the last 3-4 months, there are a lot of D2C brands who are now building their content competencies, and it's just the beginning. The next wave is going to be everything is about user generated content and even the customer testimonial. So your customers who have purchased the product, bought the product, they can come online, they can talk about the product. So this sort of content strategy, of course, would help D2C brand in building the brand awareness and consideration. And at the same time, your acquisition channels like Google, Facebook also has certain limitation. Beyond a point, even that tap gets dried up, and you really have to build a community of loyal customers. I think that's where the concept of brand loyalty and repeat and retention comes into picture. If a consumer loves your brand, they associate with it, they like the overall product experience, they would love to be part of that community. So this trend is going to shape up in the next few months, where consumer would continue to rely on the content and on their content creator and influencers and recommendation from them. Another trend is conversational marketing. See, on an average, and this is 2021 data, on an average, an Indian has spent about 42 minutes every day on WhatsApp, engaging with with their friends, family on WhatsApp. Now, this is a pretty good screen time for a brand to really capture and talk to the customer there. So there are two things here. Of course, you got a customer who's already on WhatsApp, spending time. The other big opportunity is you can actually have a conversation with the customer as a brand through an AI chatbot, because a lot of products which are a part of a D2C brand portfolio, a customer before making the purchase would like to have a conversation or would like to know more about the product. It's an equivalent of an offline sales where you talk to the sales guy, ask about the product, ask about the feature. Here there's a bot which is programmed to answer all your possible questions, and before you make a purchase decision, you can actually have that ask those questions. And with WhatsApp payment being enabled in India, some of those transactions can be concluded within the session itself when somebody...
Yeah, it actually completes the entire ecosystem of purchasing.
Right. So this is the conversational marketing. I just take an example of WhatsApp, but recently Instagram has also enabled this. So there are pilots being done where you can actually have an Instagram ad. You click on that, you start a conversation in your Instagram inbox, and there would be bot flow which are designed to answer all your questions, and you can actually complete the purchase then and there. And the best part is a lot of it is driven by AI, and you really need to, as a brand, you really need not invest so much in the human or the manpower to build that, and you can automate a lot of your customer lifecycle use cases as well. So, for example, if you are in a category which has a high repeat or a low usage cycle, like a month a repeat after a month, or repeat order after 2 months, you can actually build in those use cases as well, where you can actually get people to reorder your product. Another big trend which has already picked up in China, there are a lot of case studies in China where brands are able to sell thousands of units during one live session or live streaming of a. This is one trend which has just started picking up in India, but again, if you look at the amount of time an average Indian is spending per day watching video content, and this includes everything like your Instagram videos, YouTube videos, OTT, all this put together. Essentially, the number shows a strong affinity for a user to spend time on videos, and that's why this particular trend is one thing which I think all e-commerce players and brand should really harp on. We are at a stage where it has just started in India. A lot of short video apps are dabbling with this idea of live commerce, where there would be a content creator who would be talking about the product in a live stream video. It would be short term, 15-20 minutes of deal, you get to buy it. So there's shoppable videos, not just recorded videos, there's live shoppable video with thousands of people watch at the same time. A lot of people in India are trying it, and I only see this trend going in the future forward. As a brand, we have also tried this, and I must say that it creates a lot of excitement on the platform where people are actually looking at the product. So the creator can actually demonstrate the product, talk about the product, and then eventually there's a shopping as well.
Right.
So these are just some of the trends which I could foresee in the near future how 2022 looks like, and a lot of it is attributed to how our habits as a consumer have changed in the last 2 years, because a lot of people are working from home, so access to smartphone, access to OTT, overall internet penetration in India is growing pretty much every day, and we now see Gen Z and millennial, everybody prefers convenience, so there's a gradual shift from offline to online purchase. So this is one video I want to sort of leave the audience with to sort of see how the future looks like. These are some of videos from the recent announcement made by Facebook that they are rebranding themselves to Metaverse. Metaverse has been a buzzword. In fact, Jayesh, we can do a separate session on this, because I have a lot of thoughts around how Metaverse can actually gradually transform the way we live, we work, and we shop. The buzzword metaverse, at least in the West, it has already started. I see. At least I know a couple of brands who have actually started accepting NFTs as a payment. Of course, that in India they're still facing some regulation, and overall it looks very promising. So I'll just play this video and leave the audience with some thoughts on how it's gonna.
Over the last year and a half, a lot of us who work in offices have gone.
You can hear the audio as well.
Yeah, sure.
You can hear the audio.
Yes, we can.
Remote. And while I miss seeing the people I work with, I think remote work is here to stay for a lot of people. So we're going to need better tools to work together. Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be at the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup and you can actually do more than you could in your regular work setup. And on top of all that, you can keep wearing your favorite sweatpants.
Looking good. Let's get together real quick for a debrief.
I'm free now. Let's jump in.
Hi.
Hey.
So what do we think?
I think it's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
Imagine a space where you can tune out distractions and focus on the task at hand. And when you're ready to share what you've been working on, you can present it as if you're right there with the team.
Wait, where's Mark?
I think he's in the middle of something.
Wow.
And as we speak, I mean, last week there was news that H&M has already started their first store, has opened their first store in Metaverse.
Right. That's so amazing to see that the customer experience in this space is growing at a pace which no one can imagine. It's a really nice insight, Hemant. Thank you for sharing this. Do you have any other video as well?
I'm just trying to open it. There's some, but I think anyways, Josh, I think we can. Yeah.
The message is loud and clear, and thank you for sharing these 5 insights. I really think these make a lot of sense to our users. With this, if any one of you have any questions for Hemant, please feel free to post them into the chat box, and we'll get back to you within this week. Sorry, within the next week. This week is getting over. Yeah. So thank you, Hemant, so much for this session. It was truly an amazing session, and I really hope that our users had something to take away from this insightful presentation which you shared with us. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you, Hemant, always, and we look forward to have more engagement between us.
Yeah, Jayesh, thank you so much for this, and would be happy to answer any question if anybody has.
So what we can do is we can wait for 2 minutes. If any one of you have any question, please feel free to post into the chat box. Come on, guys, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you have any questions, please post it down there. We'll answer them right here, right now.
I was able to pull out that video as well, Jayesh. So I'll just probably leave the audience with this, and then we can sign off for the day.
Yeah, sure, please. Okay, so we have one question. Do you want to play the video first, or would you like to answer this question?
It's a 30-second video. So this is a video of the first store opened by H&M in Metaverse.
Okay, this seems more interesting.
You can see that?
Yeah.
This was in news the last 2 weeks. The first retail store opened in Metaverse. So, I mean, we're definitely up for something.
This is a store I would really want to shop in.
You have to shop in the virtual world.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we'll come to this after this question. Hemant, let me just read out the question for you. Just a second. We have 2 questions, I guess. So the question is, are there any particular channels that new D2C players should be targeting? That's an interesting question.
Any new channel?
Yeah, any new channels which particularly D2C players should be targeting in this era?
Okay. So See, traditionally, I would say the most common channel has been your Google, Facebook, and affiliates, which are prominent contributor to revenue. But one, I would say, a venue or advertising method at which few e-commerce brands have tried and can work is native advertising and DSP-based advertising ads, which are powered by some consumer insights. So native works very well for products which are either functional in nature, because then you can actually build the whole content around that product and seed in through native ads. Native ads essentially the ads which look like a part of your news story or a content, but it can have an explanation or a description about the product. That's one which works well for some of the products. Programmatic has been a holy grail for D2C brands as well, because there's no infrastructure or large infrastructure in place which can actually justify the ROI, and a lot of D2C are nimble-footed to sort of control the ROI to ensure that they are positive on their profit. So native ads and programmatic is one thing the D2C brands can try.
Yeah, surely that makes a lot of sense. We have one more question. I'll just put it out for you, and since it's almost time, I'll concise it to a little bit. So the question is, how would metaverse fit into the Indian ecosystem? What do you think would be the road ahead?
Sure. So, to be honest, I'm also figuring out that because I've been reading about metaverse in the last 2-3 months after Facebook announced that. I can share some of the things that we have seen working in West, although India is yet to sort of adopt it, both in terms of technology as well as in terms of the other things. See, metaverse it's quite a broad term, which talks about everything that you experience in a virtual environment. So things like augmented reality to experience the product. So for e-commerce, and especially for fashion apparel sort of category, which is already touch and feel, AR would play a big role, where you can actually experience the product without actually physically visiting anywhere. On the payment side, NFTs, crypto would become the payment method, and virtually you would be able to travel to see, it looks very sci-fi to be honest, the kind of thing that we have seen in Hollywood movies. So you would be able to visit a place or a store or where you can actually experience the product and take a buying decision. People are already, in the West, people are already selling lands, plots, buildings. In metaverse, people are buying it. You see, it goes pretty much like in a real estate, how it was real estate 20 years back in the physical world. So, but yes, India, of course, I feel may have a very, at the initial stage, would have a challenge around regulatory. We see in the news pretty much every day, crypto is still facing a lot of roadblocks from government. Metaverse, of late has seen some challenges where people were actually getting, there are crimes happening in the metaverse. The women being robbed, crimes happening in the metaverse. People are actually started abusing that universe because there are no law there. There's nobody who can actually hold you for something. So I'm not sure how it will pan out in India. It's a pretty open-ended question, but yes, it is going to be reality soon. I'm sure that's what Facebook vision has been. That's how they've rebranded themselves as Meta.
Yeah, exactly. And
Indian customers would be very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Totally get that. And there is a small gift from Hemant and the Man Company for all of you who have attended and who have registered and not attended. They also can check out the if you're interested in the Man Company products, and I should say that you should check them out. They are really amazing products, and for you to buy them easily, Hemant is sharing a small gift. You can use this coupon code BTS25. BTS is the Biztech Show, so you can use this coupon code and avail 25% on all the Man Company products. Thank you, Hemant, for this wonderful gift for our audience. I'm really sure that the people who listen to us will appreciate this kind gesture. Thank you so much for this, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thanks,
So
everyone.
with this, I'll take leave, and I'll see you again in the next episode. In the Biztech Show, what we do is we take small business challenges which are arising in the present day world, and we talk about them in a very to the point manner. So if you have any problems, just reach out to us at befirstmarketing.com, and we will reach out to you, or we will cover that topic in the upcoming episodes. Till then, see you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Jayesh.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone, for your time.